Hello YouTube. Today I wanted to show you a new gadget, several new gadgets I got today. I got 4 new battery adapters for the old school cameras, such as this Minolta Himatic F, which takes, I don't remember exactly which batteries they are. They're in the same family with the old school mercury cells that are, of course, no longer available. And in order to get batteries for this camera or this camera, the Pentax, Spotmatic, the S1As, any of them, not the S1A, those didn't have batteries, any of the old school cameras that took the mercury cells, there's adapters now, and it actually has been for a while. I just happened to find them online. I'll show you here first is the Minolta. These would have replaced the PX13 and I think 640 and a bunch of other mercury cell batteries. Initially, what I had done for the Minolta was I had followed some directions I found online on YouTube. Made a conductive plug for one side, because this camera takes, as you can see, 2 batteries. So this was a conductive plug for one side, and I put 2 303s together inside a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe, so it made the approximate size and shape of the correct battery. Then on eBay I found these things. These are solid brass, machined, and they're machined to take batteries, the newer button style batteries. This is a 303/357, and those batteries fit right down into that machined hole, just like that. So then you can, I want to make sure I have that pull out tab, take your assembled battery thingamajig. There goes one on one side. Take the other one, put a battery in it, put it in the other side, close it up, and hopefully you can see that little red light lights up. That tells you it's working, and it actually works a little bit better than the do-it-yourself thing I made. The light's a lot brighter. So that is how those work, and these are really awesome. They're solid brass. They're superbly made. I'll put a link in the show notes underneath from the guy I got them from. I imagine there's more than a few people that are supplying these. These were about, I think these were $9 a piece, which to my mind seems like a pretty fair price. Solid brass, and the thing is really well made. It fits perfectly. And then there's these, which is another style of the number I can't remember. They do the same thing. Solid machined brass with a divot that'll take a modern button battery. And these will go into later versions of the Pentax K1000, early versions of the K1000, or the Spotmatic. I don't remember which. I don't have an example of either one right in front of me. At least not. Okay, this one, that takes a different battery. But there's also replacements for those as well. These would fit into the cameras. These would fit into the Pentax clip-on light meter is the one that clip right on top of the camera. They take these funny shaped batteries that have the ledge on them. I've gotten some others of this type before. They were machined aluminum, and those work very, very well also. The only thing I noticed with this particular camera, these batteries are 1.5 volts, I think. So it's two 1.5 volts. The originals were 1.35 volts, I think. So you're getting a little more voltage out of these two than you would out of the original two mercury cells. I got a roll of film back with having shot this camera using my old school contraption and two of these modern batteries. The increase in voltage, I didn't really notice a consistent difference. The camera is an antique, there's no doubt about it. Exactly how well it works is anybody's opinion. Some of the pictures were spot on in terms of color saturation. Some appeared to be a little overexposed. I'm not sure if it was the over voltage, or I know some of the pictures were taken into the sun, so that might have messed with the light meter a little bit. But in any case, if you have a problem with overexposure or underexposure, as the case may be, you'll learn about it with the first roll or two, and you can compensate from there. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but if you're shooting, for a high standard, you may want to be just aware that it's going to give you an over voltage using modern batteries and these relic cameras, so you may want to compensate. But I'm pretty happy with these. I'm looking forward to using them in the Minolta and my Pentax cameras, and these are really great. They're just terrific, nicely made, solid brass, and it's going to be easier and, in my opinion, better than using the conductive plug and PVC pipe to get batteries into the Minolta and some other cameras that I have. And that's all I wanted to share with you. As I said, I'll put some links in the show notes. So if you have one of these old cameras that takes one of those old mercury cells and you're not sure where you can get adapters or even replacement batteries, there is a company, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but they make replacement batteries of the correct configuration and I believe the correct voltage. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's correct. And I've also used those there at Air Zinc, and those seem to work pretty well. So in any case, that's all I wanted to share, was these adapters getting new batteries into old cameras. Until next